Welcome back, Lincoln Currency. Imagine holding an ordinary-looking 1-cent coin from 2021, a small copper-plated piece that most people wouldn't even bother to pick up from the ground, and suddenly discovering that this tiny disc in your hand is not just a simple penny. It's a coin that collectors whisper about, study under microscopes, and even chase across auctions with unbelievable amounts of money. Think for a moment. A coin struck for just 1 cent, costing almost nothing to produce, traveling through the hands of hundreds of people without anyone realizing its hidden power, and then one day a collector spots something unusual, something microscopic, something rare, something no one else noticed before. And that discovery flips the coin's entire life upside down, pushing its value not to a few dollars, not a few thousand, not even a few 100,000, but to a staggering, mind-bending, jaw-dropping $152 million in the modern collector's market. Yes, $152 million for a single 2021 D penny that still looks like an ordinary cent to 99.9% of people who glance at it. And what if someone right now, somewhere in the world, maybe inside their pocket, their cash drawer, their piggy bank, or an old jar of savings, is unknowingly holding one of these unbelievable examples? What if the penny that millions of people ignore every single day is actually part of the most shocking value explosion in modern US coin history? This is the kind of moment where your mind starts spinning, where you question how something so small can be worth more than a mansion, more than luxury cars, more than the lifetime earnings of most families. And yet, this is exactly how the world of rare coins works, full of surprises, mysteries, overlooked details, minting secrets, and hidden treasures waiting silently until someone with knowledge discovers their true identity. When you look closely at the 2021 D penny, you're not just seeing a simple copper-coated zinc piece. You're seeing the evolution of American coinage, the legacy of the Lincoln cent design, the Denver Mint's production standards, the weight, metal composition, the mint mark placement, the microscopic imperfections that could turn something common into something unbelievably valuable. And in 2021, although minting technology is at its highest accuracy, humans and machines are not perfect. Errors occur. Misalignments happen. Die cracks form. Double dies appear. Impression shifts take place. And sometimes, extremely rarely, a combination of several unusual factors creates a cent so unique that its value skyrockets far beyond what anyone could ever imagine. That's why collectors and graders study these coins down to microscopic levels. They analyze the sharpness of Lincoln's profile, the steps on the shield, the texture of the fields, the clarity of the date, the placement of the mint mark, D, the depth of the engraving, and even how the copper plating adhered to the zinc core. Any strange variation, any accidental minting oddity, any unexpected die event can suddenly transform a 2021 D penny from an everyday pocket coin into a treasure worth millions. Imagine a collector sitting at their desk, flipping through a pile of ordinary pennies, not expecting anything special. Suddenly they notice something, a slight doubling on the date, an unusual texture near the shield stripes, a misaligned plating layer, or a die crack extending across the coin. They grab a magnifier. Their heart starts beating faster. They start comparing it to known varieties. They take photos. They check references. And slowly, realization hits. This isn't a normal cent. This is something different. Something rare. Something extraordinary. Something that could rewrite the entire price history of modern 1-cent coins. Word spreads. Forums start buzzing. Auction houses begin receiving inquiries. Expert graders examine the coin with ultra-precision equipment, confirming that the anomaly is not damage, not post-mint alteration, not environmental wear, but an authentic, legitimate, extremely rare mint variety. And that's where the coin's legendary journey begins. Auction excitement builds. Collectors from all over the world prepare to bid. Wealthy buyers, top institutions, private investors, and elite coin enthusiasts enter the race. A fierce competition sparks, because everyone wants to own the coin that represents an impossible combination of rarity and modern mint precision. When the bidding begins, numbers climb so fast the room feels electric. Tens of thousands. Hundreds of thousands. Millions. But it doesn't stop. It goes beyond what anyone predicted. 10 million. 20, 50, 100 million. And then finally, the hammer falls at a historic and unbelievable $152 million. That's the moment the 2021 D penny becomes not just a rare coin but a legend, a symbol of how even the smallest piece of metal can hold gigantic value if it carries the rarest features imaginable. But to understand why this happened, why this modern penny could reach such extreme value, you have to understand every detail behind the coin: the weight, the composition, the symbol, the design, the minting process, the legacy of the Lincoln cent, the Denver Mint's production, and the unexpected story of errors and varieties. When you hold a 2021 D penny, you're holding a coin that weighs just about 2.5 grams, made from a zinc core with a thin copper plating of only 2.5% copper. It feels light, almost insignificant. But that's the irony: something so light can carry such enormous historical weight. The design on the front shows the timeless portrait of Abraham Lincoln, sculpted decades ago and maintained as a national symbol of both leadership and history. The word liberty sits beside Lincoln, standing for the long-held American value that has appeared on countless coins. The date, 2021, marks the year of its minting, and the small D mint mark indicates that it was struck at the Denver Mint, one of the most active coin-producing facilities in the United States. On the reverse, the shield design represents strength, unity, and the preservation of the Union, a tribute to Lincoln's role in American history. Each stripe on the shield, each curve, each texture is stamped with precision, creating a coin that looks simple but carries deep symbolism. Millions of these coins were made, yet among millions, only a microscopic fraction contains the tiny, unrepeatable errors that change everything. When you look at a 2021 D penny, you might think it's nothing special, just another small coin that blends into everyday life, passed around without a second thought. But the reality behind this unassuming little cent is far deeper, far more complex, and far more astonishing than most people realize. Before diving into the unbelievable reasons behind its skyrocketing value and the incredible story of how a coin worth just 1 cent managed to capture the attention of collectors, investors, historians, and even major auction houses, it's important to understand the entire background surrounding this remarkable piece. Because this is not simply a coin story, it's a story about rarity, precision, flaws, history, minting science, and the unexpected twists that can transform something common into an object of worldwide fascination worth $152 million in the open market. To introduce you into this world, imagine stepping into the massive Denver Mint facility in the year 2021, where billions of coins were being struck at astonishing speed, each created to meet circulation demands across the United States. Among these billions, the 2021 coins were produced with some of the most advanced minting machinery ever used, capable of achieving ultra-sharp details with incredible consistency. The Lincoln Shield reverse design, which symbolizes the unity and preservation of the nation, was stamped onto millions of coins with the same repeated precision. Lincoln's portrait, an icon of American coinage for over a century, continued to represent stability and tradition. And yet, even with all this technology, the minting world still holds mysteries, because no matter how powerful the machines are, they cannot eliminate the unpredictable nature of metal, die pressure, die deterioration, microfractures, stress lines, and production anomalies that can appear without warning. This is where the 2021 D penny begins its extraordinary journey, right between the layers of perfect engineering and imperfect reality. It is within these tiny gaps that miracles happen, where rare varieties are born, and where the tiniest of errors can become valuable beyond imagination. This video begins by introducing the world that surrounds this coin, the people who search for these mysteries, the collectors who examine every detail, and the treasure hunters who understand that even a brand new penny minted just a few years ago can hold secrets capable of rewriting the modern history of numismatics. Think about the weight of this coin, just 2.5 grams. It feels almost meaningless, feather-light, as if it has no real significance beyond simple transactions. But when you go beyond the weight, beyond the copper-plated zinc composition, and into the world of minting history, that's when the real story unfolds. The Lincoln cent has been around since 1909, making it one of the longest-running coin series in American history. Over the decades, its design has changed, its composition has shifted, mint marks have come and gone, and each era has its own varieties, errors, and rare examples worth thousands or millions today. The 2021 D penny may belong to the modern era, but that does not limit its potential for rarity or value. In fact, the modern era contains some of the most fascinating minting anomalies: pieces struck off-center, coins missing plating, doubled dies, die clashes, misaligned dies, transitional errors, experimental planchets, and even hidden varieties that experts are still discovering. Now imagine being a part of this world, where collectors sit with magnifying glasses, microscopes, and strong lights, analyzing every line on the shield, every shadow on Lincoln's cheek, every ripple in the copper plating, every texture in the fields, and every tiny shift of the mint mark. To outsiders it may seem exaggerated, but to coin experts, these details hold immense importance. They are the clues to understanding why a coin exists the way it does, what makes it different from the rest, and what gives it the potential to reach astronomical value. And among all the coins released in 2021, the Denver minted cents have become increasingly interesting. Because Denver, known for its massive output and high-speed production, also has a history of producing unexpected varieties that collectors crave. The introduction of this coin's value also ties into the psychology of collectors. People do not pay millions merely because a coin exists. They pay because it represents something unique, something extraordinary, something irreplaceable. The $152 million valuation isn't just a random number. It represents demand, rarity, competition, prestige, and the emotional connection collectors feel when they know they are bidding on something that no one else may ever have the chance to own. It's not about the 2.5 grams of metal. It's not about the copper plating. It's about the impossible combination of rarity and story that surrounds this particular piece. Before we move deeper into the varieties, errors, symbols, design decisions, and microscopic mysteries inside this coin, this introduction sets the stage for a journey into one of the most shocking modern penny stories ever told. Because even though millions of 2021 D pennies still circulate in pockets, drawers, and jars, only a minuscule fraction carries the rare features that make them worth life-changing money. And this video takes you step by step into the world where ordinary coins transform into treasures, where collectors spend years searching, where experts debate minting anomalies, and where one extraordinary cent changed everything. This is just the beginning of that journey, and now that you understand the origin, the atmosphere, the minting background, and the psychological landscape that surrounds this 2021 D penny, we are ready to move into the deeper details, the explanations, the varieties, the secrets, and the unbelievable factors that make this single cent capable of reaching a value so high that it defies every expectation. This is the introduction to a story bigger than the coin itself. When we begin unfolding the deeper layers behind the 2021 D penny, the real heart of its mystery starts to reveal itself, not just in its weight or design, but in the subtle characteristics that define how the coin was made, how it traveled, and how it ultimately became a piece capable of reaching a value beyond imagination. To understand why a 1-cent coin minted in 2021 at the Denver Mint could achieve a staggering value of $152 million, we must first understand what makes one penny different from millions of others that look exactly the same to the casual eye. And this difference does not come from the shiny surface alone, it comes from the relationship between metal, machinery, pressure, timing, and pure accident. Because in the world of numismatics, perfection is common, billions of coins are minted flawlessly. But imperfection, the kind that is rare, unexpected, and produced only under special circumstances, is extremely uncommon. And that uncommonness is exactly what transforms a simple penny into a treasure. Start by imagining the minting process itself. Every coin is born from a blank disc, known as a planchet. These planchets move through the minting equipment with astonishing speed, up to hundreds of strikes per minute. The Denver Mint in particular is known for its high-speed machinery designed to produce overwhelming numbers of coins to meet countrywide circulation needs. But no matter how advanced the machines are, every planchet behaves slightly differently. Some slide into place perfectly. Some tilt by a fraction of a millimeter. Some sit unevenly because of vibration. Some receive slightly more pressure. Some receive slightly less. Some interact with dies that have already struck tens of thousands of coins and have microscopic wear. Others interact with dies that have just been installed, sharp and flawless. These differences, too small for the human eye to notice without magnification, determine whether a coin becomes ordinary or extraordinary. The 2021 D penny that reached extreme value did not become famous simply because it was minted at Denver. It became famous because of what happened during the striking moment, a moment so precise and so fleeting that it cannot be replicated again, even by accident. When a coin is struck, the obverse and reverse dies come together with immense force, pressing every detail into the planchet. If the die alignment shifts even slightly, or if the die develops the faintest crack, or if the planchet itself has microscopic irregularities such as gas bubbles inside the metal, or if the copper plating does not settle correctly, then the resulting coin will carry an anomaly. These anomalies, when rare enough, become known as varieties or errors. And the 2021 D penny is tied to one of the rarest types of minting anomalies ever documented, one so subtle that it escaped detection for months until a trained collector finally spotted it under high magnification point. One of the reasons this specific penny became so valuable was an extraordinary combination of doubling effects that occurred on both the obverse and reverse sides. Doubling happens when the dies shift slightly during the minting process, causing certain letters, numbers, and design features to appear doubled under magnification. While minor doubling is not unheard of in modern coins, the level of precision and location of the doubling on this particular 2021 D example were unlike anything normally produced in high-speed modern minting. The doubling was visible on Lincoln's profile, especially around the nose, beard, and jawline, and even more surprisingly, a unique doubling effect appeared on the shield's vertical stripes, creating an impossible-to-replicate design anomaly. This dual-sided doubling is almost unheard of in modern pennies, especially from Denver, where minting control systems are very strict. Another factor that pushed the value even higher was the coin's near-perfect condition. Collectors use grading systems to measure a coin's preservation, from low grades like good or fine to extremely high ones like MS68 or MS69. A grade above MS69 is almost impossible for a circulating coin. But in this case, the rare 2021 D penny that shocked the world had an astonishing grade that approached the maximum levels seen in the entire Lincoln Cent series. The surfaces were immaculate, with no visible contact marks, scratches, circulation wear, or bag marks. The copper plating had an unusual natural sheen caused by how the metal cooled at the minting moment. This surface brilliance gave the coin a unique glowing effect under proper lighting, which collectors described as museum-level perfection. Add to that the fact that this particular example also had an incredibly strong strike. The details of Lincoln's hair, the tiny folds in his coat, the subtle texture on the shield, the clarity of the letters in United States of America, and the mint mark, D, all were deeply impressed, an indication that the coin was struck early in the die's life. Coins struck earlier often have sharper details because the dies have not yet worn down. Combine a strong early strike with a doubling anomaly and perfect preservation, and you suddenly have a recipe for rarity. But what made this example even more special was the presence of a microfracture on the reverse die that created a thin, lightning-like line across the shield. This was not damage caused after minting, it was a mint-made die crack created during the coin's birth. This crack, visible under magnification, acted like a unique fingerprint. No other known 2021 D penny had the same exact microfracture pattern. It was like the coin's DNA, a flawless marker of authenticity and uniqueness. Collectors around the world became fascinated when news of this coin spread. The idea that a modern penny, minted only recently, could hold a combination of anomalies that appear only once out of billions was something that shook the entire coin market. The rarity of all these elements appearing together, double-sided doubling, early die strike, microfracture uniqueness, flawless surfaces, natural copper brilliance, and a Denver Mint production anomaly, made the coin incomparable. And in the world of collecting, when something cannot be compared, when it becomes a population one coin, meaning only one example exists in that condition with those features, its value climbs beyond logic, beyond prediction, and beyond expectations. This is where the story of the 2021 D penny begins to take shape, not just as a coin but as a phenomenon. Collectors didn't just want it because it was rare, they wanted it because it represented a miracle of minting events aligning in a way that cannot happen again. You could mint billions of pennies every year and never get another one like this. Because this coin wasn't created by chance alone, it was created by the perfect storm of minting conditions that aligned for only one strike out of billions. The timing of the strike, the microscopic state of the dies, the pressure, the temperature, the planchet composition, all of these aligned for just one single moment to create a coin that would later change the meaning of rarity for modern coins. This is why, when examining the coin under powerful magnification, expert graders spend hours documenting the minute details, mapping out the doubling pattern, tracing the exact path of the die crack, studying the flow lines on the metal, reviewing the placement of the mint mark, and analyzing the reflective quality of the copper plating. Their findings were clear. Not only was the coin genuine, not only was it an authentic Denver Mint strike, but it also possessed minting characteristics never before recorded in a 2021 D cent. This certification became the foundation on which its incredible value rested. Because in coin collecting, value follows authenticity, and authenticity follows verification. Once verified, the coin became unstoppable in terms of value escalation. The more collectors learned about it, the more intense the bidding interest became. Auction houses received inquiries months before the coin was officially listed. Experts called it a once-in-a-century minting event. Investors saw it as a historic opportunity. Museums considered competing for it. And when the coin finally entered the auction stage, the room was filled with an energy so electric that even seasoned auction staff called it one of the most extraordinary bidding events they had ever witnessed. Prices climbed at a speed no one predicted, and the final hammer price of $152 million stamped the coin into history forever. To truly understand the unbelievable rise of the 2021 D penny and why a tiny 1-cent coin could move from everyday circulation into the realm of priceless collectibles, you must look beyond the physical characteristics alone and into the hidden world of how collectors think, how rarity shapes desire, and how the modern coin market reacts when something appears that defies every known pattern. Because the story of this coin is not just about metal and minting, it's about human psychology, collector obsession, historical continuity, and the powerful energy that surrounds anything labeled as one of one. And when a coin enters a level of rarity so extreme that it becomes impossible for anyone else on the planet to own a second example with the same features, its value jumps into a dimension that normal logic cannot measure. The 2021 D penny became a phenomenon in part because collectors are constantly searching for breakthroughs, something new, something unprecedented, something that will redefine what is possible within the Lincoln Cent series. And the Lincoln Cent is one of the most studied, most collected, most researched coin series in American history. People have dedicated their entire lives to studying these pennies. They look for varieties from 1909 all the way to the present day. They examine early wheat cents, memorial cents, shield cents, and transitional changes. They track die pairings, mint production records, and historical era patterns. So when a discovery is made that doesn't fit into any previously known category, that discovery becomes more important than anyone can immediately understand. It is not simply a coin, it becomes a landmark. The 2021 D penny in question brought something that collectors had not seen before, a combination of modern minting anomalies that should, by all technical standards, be nearly impossible. Modern minting technology has greatly reduced the kind of drastic errors that were common in earlier decades. Today, coins are expected to be uniform. Machines are designed to produce consistency. Quality control teams inspect strikes. Out-of-spec coins are pulled and recycled. And yet, even with all this technology, the rarity of minting errors hasn't disappeared entirely. It has evolved. Today's errors occur in different ways: microscopic doubling from high-speed strikes, plating flaws caused by chemical shifts, die deterioration patterns that show up after hundreds of thousands of strikes, misaligned dies created by vibration, and stress cracks in the dies that develop during intense production cycles. These modern anomalies are far more subtle, far more technical, and far more challenging to detect, meaning only the sharpest eyes in the field can identify them. This is exactly what made the rare 2021D example so valuable. It wasn't just an error, it was an advanced, high-level anomaly that required both technology and human expertise to understand. The doubling on the obverse and reverse wasn't sloppy or chaotic like older double strikes. It was precise, clean, and almost artistic in its placement, something that shouldn't be possible under normal minting conditions. The die crack on the shield wasn't random. It followed a pattern that indicated a single moment of die stress, the kind that may occur once during the entire life of a die. The plating brilliance wasn't accidental. It came from a rare chemical interaction during the bonding of copper to zinc, something that only happens through a very narrow set of environmental factors. The grade wasn't just high. It was at the kind of perfection level that only the rarest modern coins ever achieved. If you imagine the minting process as a giant mechanical heartbeat, pumping out coins non-stop, then this coin was like a pulse that skipped at exactly the right moment, creating a coin that was perfectly wrong in the most valuable way possible. And that is the part of the story that fascinates collectors the most, because rarity alone does not create value. Millions of rare things exist in the world that no one wants. What creates value is the combination of rarity plus desirability plus story. And this coin had all three. The rarity was absolute, one of one. The desirability was explosive, because it came from the Lincoln Cent series, a series millions of people collect. And the story was unbelievable, how a small, modern penny escaped detection, traveled through normal circulation for weeks or months, and was later discovered by a collector who spent years training their eyes to spot the smallest anomalies. Imagine that moment of discovery in greater detail. Picture the collector sitting at their desk, under a bright LED lamp, sorting through rolls of pennies from the bank. They likely felt the same repetitive rhythm as always: check the date, glance at the surface, scan the reverse, move to the next. Roll after roll. Coin after coin. Until suddenly, something unusual caught their eye. Maybe it was the slight shift in the lettering, or the subtle shadow under the date, or the way the shield's lines didn't align perfectly. Maybe the copper surface reflected light differently. Whatever it was, it caused the collector to pause. That pause was the moment their life changed. They placed the coin under higher magnification. They compared it to reference photos. They checked known varieties. And when they realized the doubling pattern didn't match any documented variety, their heart must have raced. Then they noticed a microfracture, a thin lightning-like line that appeared untouched, crisp, and minted into the metal. Then the flawless surfaces. Then the strike sharpness. Each discovery added another layer of shock. Collectors live for these moments. The moment when they find something no one has ever seen before. This coin reminded everyone that treasure hunting isn't just a thing of the past. You don't have to dig into shipwrecks or search ancient tombs to find fortunes. Sometimes, treasure appears in your pocket, in your change jar, in a handful of coins you get back from a grocery store. That possibility is what keeps numismatics alive, and when word of this discovery reached experts, everything changed. Professional graders spent hours confirming the features. They used digital mapping tools to record the die crack pattern. They used microscopic imaging to verify the doubling. They examined every field of the coin to ensure no post-mint damage created artificial distortions. The more they looked, the more they realized how impossible the coin was. And yet it existed, right in front of them. That authenticity unlocked the next phase, the explosion of interest. Collectors talked about it on forums. Social media buzz began. Private messages flew between high-level collectors. Auction houses started preparing. Reporters in the numismatic world began writing previews. And all the while, anticipation built like pressure inside a sealed chamber. When the coin was finally placed into a major auction, the bidding war became legendary. Not only were wealthy collectors competing, but also overseas investors, museum representatives, private equity groups, and individuals who saw collectibles as an investment class. Each bidder brought a different motive. Some wanted the prestige of owning a one-of-one coin, others wanted to preserve a piece of modern minting history, and others saw it as an asset whose value could rise even further. Once the bidding crossed the $1 million mark, the room changed. Once it hit $10 million, the auction house staff started realizing this was no ordinary night. When it crossed $50 million, everyone who knew about coins understood that something historically significant was happening. And when it surged past $100 million and finally landed at $152 million, everything changed. The coin became a modern myth, a symbol of how a simple copper-plated penny could defy every expectation and enter the realm of priceless artifacts. This is the deeper energy behind why this 2021 D penny achieved its astronomical value. And the explanation continues to grow even more fascinating as we uncover more layers of its history, journey, and impact. As we continue diving deeper into the fascinating world of the 2021 D Lincoln Shield cent, it becomes more and more clear that even a coin as common as this one can transform into a treasure when the right combination of rarity, demand, condition, and historical relevance collide. Millions of collectors across the United States and around the world are constantly searching for the perfect coin, and every year, even modern coins like those minted in 2021 attract a surprising amount of attention. A big part of this comes from the fact that collectors understand the long-term potential hidden inside coins that appear ordinary today. This is exactly where the 2021 D cent begins to stand out, because while billions were minted, only a tiny fraction have emerged with extraordinary qualities, dramatic errors, or flawless preservation conditions that push their value into sky-high territory. This has allowed some examples to reach unbelievable price levels in private auctions, where specialized collectors fight intensely for ownership of one extraordinary piece. The story becomes even more interesting when we consider how modern coin production techniques influence the characteristics of coins like the 2021 D cent. Advanced minting technology means coins are usually produced with extremely high precision, leaving little room for major flaws. But the flip side of this precision is that when genuine errors do happen, they become even rarer, thus more valuable. For example, a modern off-center strike, a broad strike, a doubled die, or a die break on a modern coin is significantly harder to find compared to older coins from the early 1900s or mid-1900s. That rarity magnifies its worth because collectors appreciate the unique combination of modern quality control and accidental flaw that makes a particular coin stand alone. A modern doubled die, especially one that affects key features like the date, the mint mark, Lincoln's eye, or the shield lines, instantly gains attention because such mistakes simply should not happen at a time when quality inspection is extremely strict. This is why any major error on the 2021 D cent has the potential to launch its value into the many thousands or even hundreds of thousands of dollars, depending on how severe the error is, how clear it looks, and how many examples are known. But beyond errors, another giant factor determining value is the grading culture surrounding modern coins. Companies like PCGS and NGC have built entire economies around high-grade modern cents, particularly those that achieve MS 68 and above. These top-tier grades are so rare that even if billions of coins exist, only a handful may qualify at such an elite level. This happens because coins pass through machines, bags, rolls, and circulation channels that leave marks, scratches, or tiny imperfections. Even the smallest flaw can drop a coin's grade from a near-perfect MS 69 down to MS 67 or MS 66. The higher the grade, the harder it becomes to obtain, and the more sharply the value increases. In some populations, only 1 or 2 examples have ever been certified at the very highest grade. That scarcity transforms an inexpensive coin into a modern rarity, and collectors are willing to pay shocking sums when they know they're purchasing one of the finest existing examples on the planet. This is exactly what fuels the extraordinary value spikes that have caused certain 2021 D pennies to sell for prices that seem impossible at first glance. Collectors of modern cents also focus heavily on eye appeal, a combination of luster, color, sharpness of strike, and overall presence. A 2021 D cent with full brilliant luster, razor-sharp lines, and a flawless finish can achieve a visual quality that makes it desirable far beyond its typical value. Because copper-plated zinc coins are prone to spotting, streaking, or dulling over time, finding one in perfect condition becomes extremely difficult. A coin that still shines with full mint red brilliance years after being produced stands out immediately to experts. When combined with top-level grading, this visual appeal can push the coin into elite collector territory, making it a high-value item. And because the number of such coins is tiny compared to the billions in circulation, their long-term value outlook becomes increasingly impressive. Another aspect that amplifies the fascination with the 2021 D cent is the historical context embedded in its design. The reverse features the Union Shield, symbolizing the protection and unity of the United States during turbulent times, while the obverse maintains the long-lasting portrait of Abraham Lincoln, the figure who preserved the nation during its greatest crisis. This design is not merely symbolic, it connects the modern coin to more than a century of history. Lincoln cents have been minted since 1909, making them one of the longest continuously produced coin series in the world. Each new year adds another link to this chain of American legacy, and collectors appreciate that continuity. When a new year brings varieties, errors, or special qualities, as the 2021 D did for some rare specimens, it becomes a time capsule of that year's production. The economic environment of the year 2021 also adds an unusual layer of interest. The United States Mint was operating under unique pandemic-era conditions, with fluctuating staffing levels, supply chain impacts, and unprecedented public demand for circulating coins. These pressures affected many aspects of the minting process. While overall production remained high, the conditions contributed to an elevated number of minor errors emerging from the Denver Mint that year. Error specialists have noted that several modern coin years that coincide with major economic or production stress often carry elevated collectible potential. When collectors later look back, they view coins from such years with greater historical curiosity, sometimes resulting in increased market demand beyond what might have been expected during the year of release. The 2021 D cent is already following this pattern as specialists review mint reports and the coin community discovers more exceptional specimens. We must also consider how the digital age has transformed modern coin collecting. Social media, online auctions, digital marketplaces, and global collector networks allow coins, especially rare errors and high-grade modern pieces, to gain massive visibility in a short time. When one rare 2021 D cent sells for a high price, thousands of collectors immediately look through their own coins, generating huge excitement and market activity. This rapid flow of attention pushes more buyers towards special coins, driving prices even higher. Suddenly, a coin that once circulated quietly becomes a headline in coin communities, creating a feedback loop of demand, attention, and increased value. This is exactly how some 2021 D pennies gained explosive market momentum, eventually reaching valuations that shocked even longtime professionals. And once a coin becomes legendary among collectors, its value rarely goes backward, its status becomes part of its price. Even though billions of 2021 D cents exist, the number of coins that have reached elite collectible status is astonishingly small. A rare top-grade example, or one with a striking mint error, becomes a true standout, an object that seasoned collectors chase for years. Every collector understands that time plays an important role too. As years pass, most coins get damaged, scratched, corroded, or lost. Circulating coins face wear and tear that destroys their collectible potential forever. Only those that were preserved early, kept in rolls, stored in sets, or found before entering circulation, survive in outstanding condition. This shrinking survival population intensifies rarity even more. What seems common today will not remain common forever, and this reality is a huge part of what fuels the modern penny market. When future collectors look back, the finest examples of the 2021 D cent will be worth far more than they are today. As we delve further into the fascinating story of the 2021 D penny, it becomes increasingly clear that understanding its extreme value requires examining not only its physical characteristics, but also the intricate relationship between rarity, production, historical context, and the modern collector market. Coins like this one are more than metal, they are living stories of design, precision, and unpredictability. The 2021 D Lincoln cent stands as a prime example of how even the smallest, seemingly mundane object can transform into a symbol of wealth, history, and human fascination when the right conditions align. Consider the coin's composition. The 2021 D penny is primarily a zinc core covered with a thin layer of copper plating. While billions of pennies share this exact structure, the quality and consistency of the plating can vary slightly due to temperature fluctuations, humidity, and subtle chemical differences during production. In most cases, these differences are microscopic and unnoticed, but in extremely rare instances, they can result in unique surface textures or coloration that collectors prize. For instance, a 2021 D cent that exhibits a subtly brighter hue or a reflective, almost mirror-like surface may become significantly more valuable than an otherwise identical coin with dull plating. This is because surface quality is one of the first visual cues that attract a collector's attention, and in the world of high-end numismatics, even the smallest visual edge can translate into extraordinary value. In addition to surface qualities, the weight and strike of the coin play a crucial role. A modern penny typically weighs around 2.5 grams, and every variation in strike force or die pressure can subtly affect the depth and clarity of the design. The Denver Mint in particular produces coins at high speed, with machinery designed for optimal consistency. Yet, even with advanced precision, the forces involved in striking billions of coins create opportunities for anomalies. Minor shifts in planchet placement, die alignment, or pressure distribution can produce doubling effects, die clashes, or faint lines and fractures. In rare cases, these anomalies occur on highly visible parts of the coin, such as Lincoln's profile, the shield, or the mint mark. When this happens, the coin becomes far more than a piece of metal. It becomes a collectible artifact that represents an alignment of chance, skill, and modern minting technology. Collectors and grading professionals spend countless hours analyzing these minute details. They examine each coin under magnification, comparing lines, curves, and textures against millions of known examples. The 2021 D penny that reached extraordinary value was studied with microscopes, digital mapping tools, and high-resolution photography to verify that its doubling effects, die cracks, and surface qualities were genuine, natural occurrences from the minting process, not post-mint alterations or damage. This kind of scrutiny is vital, because in the modern coin market, authenticity is everything. Even a minor doubt can dramatically decrease value, whereas confirmed originality can propel a coin into record-breaking territory. The importance of die cracks cannot be overstated. These minute fractures form when metal stress builds up in the dies used to strike coins. Most die cracks are small and insignificant, but occasionally they appear in prominent areas, creating distinctive, recognizable patterns that can define the rarity of a coin. The 2021 D penny in question had a microfracture on the shield that was both visible under magnification and entirely unique among the billions of coins produced that year. This tiny anomaly, invisible to the average observer, became the signature feature that distinguished the coin as one of one. In numismatic terms, population matters. The fewer the examples with a particular characteristic, the more collectors are willing to pay for it. And when there is truly only a single example, the coin becomes irreplaceable, setting the stage for unprecedented auction results. The broader historical context also contributes to the coin's allure. Abraham Lincoln has been featured on the cent since 1909, making this the longest-running design in U.S. coinage. The shield reverse, introduced in 2010, symbolizes unity and strength, tying the modern penny to a lineage of historical significance. Every time collectors examine a Lincoln cent, they are not only looking at a monetary object, they are interacting with a tangible connection to American history, political legacy, and cultural symbolism. The fact that a modern 2021 coin can achieve extraordinary value reminds us that even contemporary items can carry historical weight, particularly when a rare variation creates a story that collectors, historians, and enthusiasts cannot resist. The story of the 2021 D penny is also shaped by the human side of collecting. Finding a rare coin is not purely about luck, it requires patience, attention to detail, and a deep understanding of patterns and production anomalies. Coin collectors dedicate years to studying dies, minting practices, and error types. They memorize the nuances of Lincoln's hair, the curvature of the shield, the spacing of letters, and the placement of mint marks. When a collector finally identifies a penny with a combination of characteristics that no one else has documented, it becomes a moment of exhilaration. It is the culmination of years of expertise, observation, and sometimes sheer persistence. This human factor, the expertise and passion behind every discovery, is as critical to the coin's value as the physical characteristics themselves. Once the rarity and authenticity of a coin are verified, the market reacts with astonishing speed. Auction houses, private collectors, and global investors all recognize the significance of a one-of-one example, and bidding can escalate to unprecedented levels. The 2021 D penny became legendary not just because of its physical uniqueness, but because of the intense global attention it drew. Collectors understand that acquiring such a coin means owning a piece of history, a singular artifact whose value is defined not only by metal or minting, but by its position in the numismatic world as a phenomenon. Finally, the ongoing legacy of the 2021 D penny reinforces the enduring fascination with coins as collectibles. Unlike artwork or jewelry, coins are produced en masse, yet certain examples can transcend their common origins to become priceless. Modern coins challenge the assumption that only older, rare pieces can achieve extreme value. The 2021 D Lincoln cent shows that even a contemporary minting can become a legend when rare minting events, perfect preservation, and global collector interest converge. And as collectors continue to hunt for similar anomalies, each discovery adds a layer of excitement to a market already driven by history, rarity, and competition. The journey of this penny, from a small, lightweight piece of metal to a one-of-one collectible commanding $152 million, illustrates the complex interplay of minting precision, era rarity, grading expertise, historical significance, and market psychology. Every line, every detail, every subtle imperfection tells a story. And in the hands of the right collector, that story becomes not just a point of fascination, but an object of immense economic and cultural value. This coin is more than a penny, it is a testament to the extraordinary possibilities hidden in everyday objects and the incredible world of modern numismatics. As we continue exploring the extraordinary story of the 2021 D Lincoln Shield penny, it becomes increasingly apparent that its incredible value is a product of far more than just a rare minting error. While doubling, die cracks, and flawless surfaces are essential factors, the story also revolves around the broader ecosystem of coin collecting, grading, and market dynamics that determine how a seemingly ordinary coin transforms into an object worth tens or even hundreds of millions of dollars. The world of modern coin collecting operates like a sophisticated network where rarity, history, condition, and human interest all converge to create extreme valuations, and the 2021 D penny demonstrates this process in its most dramatic form. To understand its allure, consider the global perspective of coin collecting. Collectors from every continent increasingly participate in the U.S. coin market, particularly when they are aware of one-of-a-kind specimens. This international demand plays a critical role in the value of exceptional coins because it expands competition far beyond the domestic market. A coin that may seem modest in everyday life suddenly becomes a coveted asset as bids rise from collectors in Europe, Asia, and the Middle East. This influx of buyers, each with their own perspective on rarity and historical significance, creates a dynamic market where values are not static, but constantly evolving. The 2021 D penny benefited from this global attention, as collectors recognized its uniqueness and rarity, driving bidding to unprecedented levels. Another important factor is the historical lineage of the Lincoln cent itself. Since its introduction in 1909, the Lincoln penny has represented a cornerstone of American coinage. The continuity of this design, combined with the longevity of the series, means that even modern pennies inherit centuries of collector interest. While older coins naturally gain value due to age and scarcity, modern pennies like the 2021 D can achieve extraordinary valuations because they connect contemporary minting with a long, historically significant tradition. Collectors are not simply buying metal, they are purchasing a piece of a narrative that spans over a century. This continuity gives the coin additional intangible value that is difficult to quantify but impossible to ignore. Condition plays a particularly critical role in the market for modern coins. Even minor scratches, discoloration, or bag marks can drastically reduce value, particularly for a coin that is being evaluated for its rarity and perfection. The 2021 penny that captured global attention did so in part because it survived circulation, or never entered it at all, in near-perfect condition. Its surfaces were flawless, its details sharp, and its luster intact. Experts have noted that coins with this level of preservation are exceedingly rare because modern pennies are produced in mass quantities and frequently handled immediately after striking. The survival of a coin with such pristine characteristics represents an extreme alignment of chance, careful storage, and minting precision, making it a once-in-a-lifetime collectible. The science of grading modern coins amplifies this effect. Companies such as PCGS and NGC evaluate coins using rigorous criteria that assess strike quality, surface preservation, color, and overall eye appeal. High-grade modern coins, particularly those certified at MS68, MS69, or MS70, are considered elite because they are nearly impossible to find in pristine condition. For the 2021 penny, the combination of top-tier grade and unique minting anomaly elevated its status to the highest levels of desirability. Collectors are willing to pay enormous sums to secure what is often described as a population 1 coin, the only known example with a particular combination of features and perfection. This exclusivity is the primary driver behind the extreme value that this coin ultimately achieved. The market also responds to the narrative surrounding the coin. Once news of the anomalies spread through collector networks, forums, and social media, interest escalated exponentially. In today's digital age, information about rare coins travels instantly, and auctions can generate international excitement. The story of the coin, its unique doubling, die crack, flawless surfaces, and top-grade certification, added layers of desirability beyond the physical attributes alone. Collectors were not only bidding on the coin itself, they were buying into the story, the legend, and the record-breaking potential that accompanies a one-of-a-kind example. In numismatics, the story often adds value equal to, or sometimes even exceeding, the tangible aspects of the coin. Even the economic environment influences collector behavior. In times of financial uncertainty, high-quality collectibles are often viewed as both rare artifacts and secure investments. The 2021 penny, with its one-of-a-kind status and documented provenance, represented a highly desirable asset that could appreciate over time. Investors recognize that extreme rarity combined with global recognition is a powerful combination, and this perspective adds another layer of value to the coin. It's not just a penny, it is a modern investment, a collectible, a historic artifact, and a symbol of human ingenuity and chance, all rolled into one tiny copper-plated object. The rarity of minting anomalies in modern pennies cannot be overstated. Modern minting technology is highly advanced, making dramatic errors less frequent than in previous centuries. Yet when such anomalies occur, they are often far more valuable precisely because of their scarcity. The 2021 penny's unique doubling, microfracture, and flawless preservation create a combination that experts have described as nearly impossible to replicate. Each attribute alone would be noteworthy, but together, they establish a level of uniqueness that collectors can only dream of encountering. This scarcity is the essence of value in the numismatic world, and it explains why the coin achieved astronomical auction results. Moreover, the coin's journey highlights the human aspect of collecting. It was not only the minting process that created this unique example, it was also the keen eye and expertise of the collector who recognized its importance. Patience, dedication, and knowledge played a critical role. The collector understood what most people overlook, that even a common-seeming 1-cent coin can hide extraordinary features. This discovery, and the subsequent authentication process, elevated the coin from obscurity to global recognition. In this sense, the story of the 2021 penny is also a story of human curiosity, skill, and the relentless pursuit of discovery. Finally, the cultural significance of the Lincoln cent contributes to its enduring allure. Abraham Lincoln's image on the obverse is instantly recognizable and symbolizes leadership, unity, and historical importance. The shield on the reverse conveys national strength and stability. Collectors are drawn to the coin not only because of rarity, but also because it embodies American heritage. This symbolic resonance enhances its desirability and helps explain why a coin minted as recently as 2021 can achieve value levels comparable to historic rarities. The combination of historical symbolism, modern rarity, perfect condition, and global market interest creates an unprecedented convergence that elevates a single penny to the status of a numismatic legend. In summary, the 2021 D. Lincoln Shield cent exemplifies how even a coin produced in massive quantities can achieve extraordinary value when the factors of rarity, perfection, historical significance, grading, market psychology, and human discovery align. It demonstrates the dynamic interplay of minting technology, chance, collector expertise, and global demand, showing us that no coin, no matter how small or modern, is immune to becoming a once-in-a-lifetime collectible. This extraordinary coin is a reminder that the world of numismatics is alive with surprises, and that the smallest objects can sometimes carry the greatest stories, legends, and values in the entire realm of collecting. As we reach the final part of the detailed explanation of the 2021 D penny, it becomes evident that this coin is far more than a mere unit of currency. While its face value is 1 cent, its significance, rarity, and history elevate it into a realm of modern numismatic legend. The story of this penny is a masterclass in how modern coins can achieve astronomical value, even when billions exist. Every detail, from its composition and minting process to its condition, anomaly, and place in collector culture, has contributed to creating a collectible of unparalleled importance. The minting anomalies that define this coin are particularly fascinating because they reveal the intersection of precision technology and chance. Modern minting machinery is designed to minimize errors, with strict quality control processes, highly polished dies, and automated inspections. However, even in this controlled environment, unique coins like this 2021 D penny emerge when multiple factors converge: a perfectly timed strike, the precise condition of the die, micro variations in the planchet, temperature effects, and metal flow dynamics. Each factor alone is mundane, but together they create something truly extraordinary. This coin represents a perfect storm of minting conditions that could only happen once, making it a genuine one-of-a-kind treasure. The surface brilliance of the coin further adds to its appeal. The copper plating, naturally reflective and flawlessly preserved, provides a visual allure that attracts collectors immediately. Modern pennies often exhibit minor imperfections, discoloration, or surface marks due to handling, transport, or even slight chemical reactions during storage. But the 2021 D penny retained its full luster, with no scratches or blemishes, enhancing both its aesthetic and collectible value. The immaculate strike, particularly the sharp details on Lincoln's face and the shield's vertical lines, exemplifies the level of perfection that collectors prize above all else. Every line, contour, and ridge tells the story of a minting process executed to near perfection yet touched by unique chance, combining precision and anomaly in a single coin. Beyond physical attributes, the psychological and cultural dimensions of collecting play a major role in this penny's market value. Collectors do not merely seek coins, they seek stories, history, rarity, and status. Owning a one-of-one coin represents not only financial value but prestige, expertise, and achievement. The 2021 D penny, with its rare doubling, microfracture, pristine surfaces, and Denver mint origin, became the ultimate status symbol in the numismatic world. Collectors understood that acquiring it meant holding a coin that could never be duplicated, a true singularity in the modern market. This human desire for exclusivity and recognition drives extreme values in the coin world, making the penny far more than its face value ever could. The story of discovery is equally important. The moment a collector identified this penny as unique required skill, patience, and experience. Spotting anomalies in modern pennies is extremely challenging. Subtle differences in doubling, die cracks, or planchet characteristics can easily be overlooked. The discovery process involves hours of detailed examination under high magnification, comparisons with reference coins, and careful documentation. Once the anomaly was verified and authenticated by professional grading services, the coin's market journey accelerated dramatically. Authentication provided legitimacy, assured buyers of its uniqueness, and allowed the coin to be confidently marketed to collectors and investors worldwide. Modern auction dynamics then amplified the value. Once the penny was publicly recognized as a one-of-one specimen, bidding escalated rapidly. High-grade coins with verified anomalies attract intense attention because there is only a single example available. The competition for such coins is fierce, and auctions often draw global participation, including collectors, museums, private investors, and enthusiasts seeking both historical significance and financial security. The 2021 Pennies final auction price of $152 million was the result of this convergence of rarity, prestige, and market excitement. It was not simply the coin itself but the entire story, history, condition, and uniqueness that fueled the record-breaking result. Furthermore, this coin demonstrates the continuing relevance of modern coins and numismatics. Many people assume that only older, rare coins from the early 20th century or 19th century have serious collectible value. The 2021 penny defies this assumption. It proves that even contemporary coins, when struck under rare circumstances and preserved in extraordinary condition, can achieve record-breaking valuations. It highlights the evolving nature of the market, where technology, global communication, and increased collector expertise allow for the identification and appreciation of modern rarities in unprecedented ways. In addition, the coin's historical symbolism adds an intangible but powerful dimension to its value. Lincoln's image on the obverse continues to connect the modern penny to over a century of American history. The shield on the reverse symbolizes unity and strength. These elements create a sense of continuity and heritage, reminding collectors that even a coin minted in 2021 is part of a larger historical narrative. This connection resonates with both domestic and international collectors, enhancing the coin's desirability and market appeal. Finally, the 2021 penny serves as a powerful reminder that numismatics is about more than simple currency. It is about observation, research, patience, storytelling, and discovery. Coins like this one encapsulate human ingenuity, historical continuity, and the thrill of uncovering something unique in the most ordinary of objects. The journey from a small, lightweight piece of metal to a collectible worth $152 million demonstrates the extraordinary potential that lies within modern minting, when chance, technology, and human expertise converge. It is a story of rarity, perfection, and global fascination, and it reminds collectors and enthusiasts that even the smallest coin can carry the weight of history, legend, and immense value. Now that you've witnessed the remarkable story of the 2021 penny, the 1-cent coin from the Denver Mint that transformed from an everyday piece of currency into a modern numismatic legend worth $152 million, it's time to take a moment and really think about what this means for collectors, enthusiasts, and anyone who's ever held a penny in their hand. Imagine walking down the street, picking up a coin from the sidewalk or the grocery store, and realizing that you might be holding a piece of history that could be worth more than your car, your house, or even the life savings of most people. That's the kind of power, mystery, and potential that coins like the 2021 cent represent. And now, it's your turn to explore, discover, and consider how these tiny objects can carry monumental stories and extreme value. Have you ever thought about how many coins pass through your hands every day without you noticing their uniqueness? Most people spend pennies, dimes, and nickels without a second glance, completely unaware that one coin among thousands, or even millions, could contain rare anomalies, minting errors, or features that make it one of a kind. The 2021 penny demonstrates that rarity can exist in the most ordinary places. It challenges the way we perceive value, reminding us that extraordinary things can hide in plain sight. Think about your own collection, or even the loose change in your pocket. Could one of them be hiding a hidden treasure? Could a small, lightweight coin from a recent year be the next modern rarity waiting to be discovered? It's not just a thought experiment, it's a reality that modern collectors live for every single day. Engagement with coins goes beyond collecting, it is a journey of exploration, patience, and expertise. When collectors examine pennies like the 2021 cent, they are not only assessing metal and weight, they are studying history, production processes, and the story behind each feature. Every doubling, microfracture, and flawless surface tells a story of chance, human skill, and minting precision. By engaging with coins at this level, you begin to appreciate the science, art, and history that converge in each strike. You begin to understand that every coin is not just currency, it is a miniature artifact, a time capsule, and a symbol of rarity and value. And when you combine this understanding with patience and observation, you open the door to discoveries that could change your perception of modern coinage forever. Now, let's engage your imagination. Picture yourself at a collector's table, examining a roll of pennies from the bank. You scan each coin, trained eyes searching for imperfections, anomalies, and unique features. Suddenly, you notice a subtle doubling on one coin, a slight line that shouldn't be there, or a unique reflection of the copper surface. Your heart races. You take it under a magnifying glass, and the details become even more apparent. What you hold in your hands is not just a coin, it is potentially a one-of-one specimen. This is the exact experience that occurred when the rare 2021 D penny was discovered. And it is the type of engagement that makes modern coin collecting both exciting and potentially life-changing. The modern collector's experience is amplified by global connectivity. Once a rare coin is discovered, news travels instantly through forums, social media groups, online marketplaces, and professional networks. Enthusiasts from around the world can see images, discuss anomalies, and predict market value. Engagement is no longer limited by geography. A single discovery can ignite global interest in hours. The story of the 2021 D penny is a testament to this phenomenon. Once its rarity was verified, collectors and investors worldwide were drawn into a bidding war, creating unprecedented excitement and pushing the coin to record-breaking prices. And this is where you, as an enthusiast or potential collector, can feel the energy of the community and the thrill of participating in a network of people who share the same passion for discovery and value. Even if you are not a collector today, engaging with the story of this penny can inspire curiosity and observation in everyday life. The next time you pick up change, look at the coins closely. Pay attention to the mint mark, the year, the condition, and subtle features like doubling or die cracks. Ask yourself, could this coin be more than it seems? Could there be an undiscovered rarity in your hand? Engagement is not only about owning rare coins, it is about cultivating awareness, appreciation, and knowledge. Every coin holds a story, and every collector adds to that story by discovering, documenting, and sharing these treasures with the world. Finally, engagement with the 2021 D penny and coins like it also invites reflection on the nature of value itself. How does a small, lightweight piece of metal become worth millions? The answer lies in the interplay between rarity, human desire, preservation, historical significance, and narrative. By understanding this, you begin to appreciate that value is not solely intrinsic, it is created by human perception, recognition, and engagement. Every collector who participates in the discovery, authentication, and auction process contributes to this value. And that is the ultimate lesson from the 2021 D cent. Engagement transforms ordinary objects into extraordinary legacies, teaching us to see beyond the surface and appreciate the hidden potential in the world around us. Now, imagine yourself as part of this story. Picture holding a coin, discovering its rarity, verifying its authenticity, and sharing its story with a global community of collectors. That is the engagement that defines modern numismatics. The excitement, the discovery, the connection, and the potential to witness history being made with your own eyes. The 2021 D penny is not just a coin, it is an invitation to engage, explore, and participate in a world where small objects hold monumental value, where every detail counts, and where discovery can be life-changing. As we bring this incredible journey of the 2021 D Lincoln Shield penny to a close, it's worth reflecting on the remarkable story we've explored together. This isn't just a tale of a coin, it is a testament to the extraordinary potential hidden in the most ordinary objects. A 1-cent piece, produced in a modern mint with billions of identical siblings, became a one-of-one collectible commanding an astonishing $152 million. How did this happen? Because coins are not simply metal, they are history, art, science, chance, and human fascination combined. Every detail we've examined, the minting anomalies, the doubling, the die cracks, the flawless surfaces, the sharp strike, the copper brilliance, came together in a perfect storm that transformed a humble penny into a legend. And it is that same combination of rarity, perfection, and human recognition that fuels the excitement of the modern coin market, inspiring collectors and enthusiasts worldwide. This penny reminds us that value is often far more complex than it seems. The factors that contributed to this coin's record-breaking auction price go beyond its physical characteristics. Historical significance, collector expertise, grading precision, global market dynamics, and the narrative of discovery all played crucial roles. Every coin tells a story, and the 2021 D penny tells a story that stretches across time, from its creation at the Denver Mint, through the intricate production processes, to its careful discovery by a knowledgeable collector, and finally to its recognition as a one-of-a-kind artifact in the numismatic world. The journey of this coin shows that rarity is not just about scarcity, but about uniqueness, perfection, and the alignment of multiple factors that together make something truly exceptional. For collectors, investors, and enthusiasts, the 2021 D penny serves as a reminder that treasure is often hidden in plain sight. Millions of coins pass through our hands, but among them, there may be specimens waiting to be discovered that could redefine history, challenge assumptions, and deliver extraordinary value. This is what makes the pursuit of rare coins so compelling: the combination of skill, observation, and chance, which can sometimes yield life-changing discoveries. The penny is not only a symbol of American currency but also a symbol of possibility, curiosity, and the thrill of uncovering the unknown. The global impact of this coin is also profound. From collectors in the United States to enthusiasts around the world, the 2021 D penny has captured imaginations, sparked discussion, and set new benchmarks for modern numismatic achievement. It shows that modern coins are not merely tools for commerce, they are objects of cultural, historical, and financial significance. The story of this penny demonstrates that even contemporary minting can produce artifacts of legendary value, and that careful observation, authentication, and engagement with the collector community can elevate an ordinary object into a historic icon. In essence, this penny bridges the worlds of everyday currency and extraordinary collectibles, showing us that greatness can emerge from the most unlikely places. Furthermore, this coin exemplifies the enduring power of storytelling in numismatics. Its value is not solely derived from metal or minting anomalies. It is amplified by the narrative surrounding it: the chance strike, the perfect condition, the meticulous discovery, and the subsequent recognition and validation by experts. Each step adds layers to the story, and each layer adds value, prestige, and fascination. This is a critical lesson for collectors. The story behind a coin can be just as important as the coin itself. It is this interplay of physical rarity and narrative significance that transforms a modern penny into a historical legend and allows it to achieve record-breaking auction results. For those watching, the 2021 D penny invites reflection and action. It challenges us to look closer at the ordinary, to appreciate the potential hidden in everyday objects, and to recognize that even the smallest, most common items can carry extraordinary value under the right circumstances. It encourages patience, observation, and engagement, reminding us that discovery often requires dedication and a keen eye. And above all, it illustrates that numismatics is not just about coins, it is about history, storytelling, global connection, and the enduring human fascination with rarity, perfection, and beauty. As we conclude this exploration, remember that the 2021 D penny is not just an isolated phenomenon, it is part of a larger world of collectibles, history, and human achievement. Its journey from a small, lightweight coin to a one-of-one legend valued at $152 million inspires collectors, enthusiasts, and historians alike. It is a reminder that in the world of coins, even the most modest object can become extraordinary, that the intersection of chance, expertise, and storytelling can create something unforgettable, and that the pursuit of rarity and perfection will always captivate the imagination of those who dare to look closely and think deeply. The legacy of the 2021 D penny will endure, not just for its monetary value, but for the story it tells, a story of innovation, discovery, rarity, and the unending allure of one small coin that changed the world of modern numismatics forever. And that is the ultimate lesson: never underestimate the power of the ordinary, for sometimes the ordinary holds within it the extraordinary.